Today we're going to talk about volume of solids. Specific solids today are going to be prism and cylinder. Let's do a quick few definitions. A prism is a three-dimensional shape. I'm going to put 3D shape. That has two congruent bases. And the lateral sides are rectangles. Okay, so what that means is it has a top and a bottom, and it could be laying on its side, but its top and bottom are the same shape, and they are exactly the same size. Same size, same shape. And then all the sides around the outside, they're called lateral faces, are all rectangles. Now those rectangles, two of each pair of them will be congruent. A cylinder is a three-dimensional shape whose two bases are circles. So like a can of soup, its top and bottom is a circle, and so that's a cylinder. Volume is all the space that's occupied inside of a three-dimensional shape. So volume is the space occupied inside a three-dimensional shape. Okay, so it's really, really important that we know how to name a shape. Because once we're able to name the shape, we name the shape off of its bases, off of its top and bottom. And we need to be able to name the shape because we'll have to find the area of the base. So if the base is a circle, I have to find the area of a circle. If the base is a triangle, I have to find the area of a triangle. If the base is a rectangle, I have to find the area of a rectangle. All three of those have a different area formula. So I have to find the shape because it's named off of its base. And then I have to find the area of that base. And so I'll have to look on my formula chart and see which formula to use for the area of the base. So how do we name a shape? We name it from its base. Why is it important? Because we find the area of the base. So I have some examples of different prisms here. This is a rectangular prism because the top and the bottom are a rectangle and its lateral sides are all rectangles. So you have a congruent top and bottom and the lateral sides are rectangle. This is a triangular prism because the top and the bottom are triangles. Then it has three rectangle sides. This side, that side, and the back side. This is a trapezoidal prism because it has a top and a bottom that are trapezoids. And then all the other sides are rectangles. This is a pentagonal prism because the top and the bottom are a pentagon. And all the sides are rectangles. Cylinder, that one's easy. You'll always get that. The top and bottom are circles. Triangular prism because the top and the bottom are triangle. So you're going to have to be good at looking at these shapes and knowing what the shape is. Because this one I'm going to have to find the area of a triangle. This one I have to find the area of a rectangle. This one I have to find the area of a trapezoid. This one I have to find the area of a pentagon. This one I have to find the area of a circle. This one I have to find the area of a triangle. So it's really important. All of those take a different formula. So you have to name them to know what shape you're taking the area of for all of our formulas for volume and surface area. Okay, so let's try a few problems. You have a formula chart, but it gives us the formula for volume big B times H. Big B stands for area of the base. And each shape has its own formula for area, and you'll have to look that up on your formula chart too. So I have a certain way that I want you to work these. And you're going to have to show work to get credit. If you don't follow these steps, you're taking a risk of making a careless mistake. So the first step is to name the shape. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to determine what I think my top and bottom are. And remember, there's two of them that are identical. So my top and my bottom are this 9 by 8 rectangle. So this is a rectangular prism. That means I have to find the area of that rectangular base. That's my big B. So my big B is, I'm going to look on my formula chart and I'm going to find area of a rectangle. And the area of a rectangle is length times width. And you find that on your formula chart. Okay. So then after you write down all the formulas that you need, in this case we just need big B because then it's times the height. Then you're going to come down and you're going to identify all of the parts that you need for your formulas. I need L, W, and H. So L is the length of the rectangle that makes the base. So my length is 9. W is the width of the rectangle that makes my base. So my width is 8. Height is how tall the prism is. It's going to be something you haven't already used. I already used this. That was my length and width. So this is my height. And so I know I'm going to find my big B times my height. And my big B is length times width, so it is 9 times 8 times my height, which is 5. And I can put that in my calculator. And I get 360 kilometers cubed. And it's cubed because we multiplied 1, 2, 3 numbers together. Volume is always cubic. Okay, let's try another. First thing, name the shape. Why do we name the shape? Because that's the formula that we use for area of the base. So look at it. Remember the name of the shape. It has two congruent bases. Two triangles that are congruent. I have this triangle on top, this triangle on bottom. So this is a triangular prism. That means I am going to find the area of a triangle. So I'm going to look on my formula chart. And I'm going to find the formula for area of a triangle. And it looks like this. 1/2 base times height. By the way, that base is the base of the triangle. The base and height of a triangle make a 90-degree angle, by the way, if you don't remember that from 8th grade. Okay, so remember that volume equals big B times H. And big B is this right here, 1/2 base times height of the triangle. So I need to figure out my base and my height of the triangle. And then I have to find the height of the prism, which is totally different from that H. Those H's are not the same. This is the base and the height of the triangle. This is the height of the prism. Okay, so the base and height of the triangle, well, they make a 90-degree angle. So my base of my triangle is 12, because it's the bottom of my triangle, and the height of my triangle is 9.1. All right, the height of the prism is the distance between my bases, the distance between my top and bottom. So here's my top, here's my bottom, here's the distance between them. So the height of that is 11. The first thing that I want to do is find this area of the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height of the triangle. And I'll put that in. And so that gives me 54.6 times the height of the prism. So times 11. So the volume of this triangular prism is 606 inches cubed. Okay, Okay, one more. I want to find the volume of this shape. Remember, volume is the amount of space occupied inside a three-dimensional figure. And we use the formula big B times H, where the big B stands for area of the base. So I have to look at the shape and see what its base is. And that's how I name the shape. Well, this has circles at the top and bottom, so this is a cylinder. And the area of the base would be the area of a circle. So the area of a circle, I look on my formula chart, is pi times the radius squared. We're going to leave this in terms of pi. That means we're not using the pi button on our calculator, and we're not using 3.14. We're just carrying that symbol along. We've done that before. All right, so big B is area of the circle. So I need to figure out what my radius is. My radius is 12. The height of this cylinder is 10. So I'm going to plug my numbers in. Big B is pi times the radius squared. So big B is 144 pi. So the volume is big B times H. So 144 pi times 10. Now do the 144 times 10. Do not use the pi button in the calculator. So you can do that in your calculator, but we know multiplying by 10, we're just adding a 0 on the end. So I get 1,440 pi feet, cubic feet. Okay, so let's recap volume really quick. Volume of a three-dimensional shape is the amount of space taken up inside, so how much water I can pour in there, sand or whatever. And it's used, today we did prisms and cylinders, and we used the same formula, big B times H. But big B represents the area of the base, and it depends on the shape what formula I use in place of big B. Well, if it's a rectangle, I have to find the area of a rectangle, which is length times width. If it's a triangle, I have to find the area of a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. And if it's a circle, then I have to find the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Now remember, right now we're leaving our cylinders, anything with a circle, in terms of pi. That means we're not doing anything, we're just carrying that symbol along. We're not going to punch in 3.14, and we're not going to use the pi symbol on our calculator. Okay, so what you need to do now at the end of your notes is you need to go ahead and summarize what you learned, and you need to write at least one question pertaining to the notes. Either something that you need more information about, or maybe you need clarification, or maybe you need another example, or maybe a question you might, if you were me as a teacher, what you might ask the class.